channel, and welcome to today's very special episode. I mean, I didn't know this was a show, but apparently it is. So welcome to today's episode, all about how to unlock and remove all blockages from your psychic abilities, okay? In this video, I'm gonna go over a couple of different common psychic abilities and how to recognize them, because again, I don't even want to say psychic abilities. These are just abilities that everybody has and everybody has experienced in some way, shape, or form, okay? This isn't some, like, how do I want to put this? Like, once I start to go through all of these and tell you how to unlock them and the blockages that you might have been experiencing, then you're going to probably start to click like, oh, wait, no, I do have that ability. Oh, wait, yeah, I need to like unblock it. So we're going to get into that in this video, okay? Because there's just too many people out here who are having these experiences, don't have any guidance about it, don't know what to do about it, they don't have a community to go to, and I feel like a lot of people haven't talked about their psychic abilities. So I think it's really important to just have this conversation, especially when it comes to blockages for those of y'all who want to further develop your abilities, okay? And again, every human being has these abilities. It's just up to you whether or not you want to continue to live in the old programming that encourages you to, you know, limit your abilities, or if you want to step into the new programming, which is unleashing the infinite human being, okay? So so let's get into it. Sorry, I just hit my desk. Okay, so we're gonna get into it. Okay, so first of all, when it comes to, well, first of all, let's get into the different psychic abilities, okay? We're gonna get into the different clairs, right? And one thing that I want to explain about the different clairs is that, you know, clair, the word clair means clear, okay? Another word for clear, when something is clear, right? When you clear out a space, it's clean. This is super important to recognize, because a lot of people, when y'all be practicing, your space is not clean, okay? So if your space is not clean, your body is not clean, your mind is not clean, your spirit is not clean, how in the world are you going to be able to really, truly tap into your full potential when it comes to accessing these abilities? Really, truly, okay? And this is like for any type of magic that you do, for any type of spiritual practices, right? Any type of miracles that you're working, you want to make sure you're clean. You know, when you go into a church or a mosque or a temple, I don't think I've ever been into any kind of holistic place or holy place that isn't clean and that isn't clear, right? If you go to a church, usually they don't have statues in the middle of the seating, right? They have the statues on the sides. They clear the space, right? Or they'll have it on the altar, or they'll have the photo, you know, it's not all over the place. They literally clear the space. This is super important. Make sure your space is clear, okay? If you don't know how to clear out your space, look into feng shui, okay? That's what I want to say about that. But you want to make sure your space is clear, okay? And for those of y'all participating in the workshop on Saturday, I'm going to get more, like way more into detail about how to clean your space, how to clear your space, and how to do it quickly, or how to do it in preparation for something, or whenever you're serving somebody or healing somebody, okay? But you really want to make sure that your space is clean, okay? And I'll give you guys a pro tip, okay? If you don't have time to clean, you can always pick up, okay? Y'all know what I mean. You can pick whatever clutter is in the room that you're gonna be practicing in, healing somebody in. You need to pick up that stuff, put it in a bin, take it out, okay? But just, it needs to be clear. It needs to have clear space, okay? Not clutter. If you do have clutter, make sure it's neat and organized. You know, I would try to tap into your little aesthetic, your inner, how do I want to put this? Your inner studio designer, you know, because you know how they have the movie sets and like everything's kind of, it's like there's a lot of stuff, but it's neatly placed, it's neatly put in the right place. That's what I want y'all to do with your little spiritual space, okay, wherever you're practicing or you're healing somebody. It needs to be clear. If you need to have stuff, it needs to be rightfully placed, okay? So again, we're going to talk more about that in the workshop on Saturday about developing your psychic abilities. But in this one, I want to talk about blockages. So for a lot of y'all, that's the first block. That's the first block, is that your space, your physical space is not clean. Okay. What we doing? What we doing? And actually, I guess we're going to go straight into blockages. That's what I'm being called to do right now. I guess we'll get into the clairs at the end of this, I guess. But blockages, so your physical space, it needs to be clean and clear, okay? That is super important. That's probably one of the main blockages, okay? If you have your own home or your apartment, I would really, really encourage you for your whole apartment to be clean whenever you're practicing anything spiritual, okay? The other day I was doing some intuitive readings, and girl, I didn't set the space. I didn't set the environment. I didn't set the barriers. And I was getting these cards where I was like, what is going on? What is going on? Nothing is aligning. Nothing is, I'm not getting anything from these. I'm not resonating. I didn't clear my space. As soon as I cleared my space, everything was in alignment. Everything made sense. I interpreted what I needed to interpret to move on in my life. It was perfect. It worked out. You want to have a clear space. So that's a clear physical space, okay? The second barrier that a lot of people have, a lot of blockages, probably, well, I think I said physical space is the most common blockage, but this is actually the most common blockage, is your mental space. What's in here needs to be clear. The more crystal clear it is, the easier it's going to be for you to tap into your abilities. That's it, plain and simple. And clear. There's nothing in there. The longer that it's clear, the easier it's going to be for you to tap into these abilities. Okay, so you already know what I'm getting at. I'm getting at meditation. You need to be meditating. If you have struggled with meditation, if you're one of those people like I was, I want to say like 4 years ago, where you tried to meditate and you can't sit for more than like 5 minutes. That's okay. Okay, that's okay. I would highly suggest do a Vipassana meditation. It's very intensive meditation. I know when you look it up, you're gonna be like, this is a lot. But I'm telling you, that's what that's what empowered me to truly stick to meditation, minimum 5 minutes a day, consistently, okay? And I'm going up on a year and a half. I'm really proud of myself. This is like a milestone for me. Because I started meditating, I was introduced to meditation in college. One of my friends was Buddhist. I went to a Buddhist monastery with her. And at the monastery, I could meditate for 30 minutes. But on my own, I was like, girl, no, listen, this is not going to happen. This is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And so I would meditate off and on. And then I think 6 years later, I sort of got into guided meditations. And I got more consistent, and then I fell off. But since I did the Vipassana meditation, and this is like minimum 13 days. I guess actually sometimes it's 10 days only, but 13 days for me really worked. Then you can actually start to tap into having a clear mind. But you have to have a clear mind. It's really, really important. And so when we talk about having a clear mind, the other thing you can do is you can do the emotional processing. You can do the healing work that you need to do. You can tap into your inner child, learn to love your inner child, learn how to support your inner child, learn how to mother or father your inner child. This is super important. You absolutely need to do this, okay? A lot of the people who have these abilities, super high-end abilities, they've done the work. That's why you see a lot of these people who have super high-end abilities, they're a lot older, or they're like a prodigy, okay? So, but you need to process through that. You need to get back to the space where you were when you were first born, where there's nothing in your mind. You're just observing everything that's going on around you. That's gonna really have you tap in, okay? But you absolutely need to. You got to clear your mind. This is like one of the biggest blocks that people have. And if you don't know where to start, I would start with, look at your emotions. When do you get triggered? Where do you get triggered? Okay, so think about the last time you were triggered. What happened? Did somebody say something? And this could be triggered like in a negative or positive way. Because at the end of the day, you want to get to that neutral state. And that's something that you'll work to, okay, so first you want to work with having a healthy relationship with your negative emotions, right? Then you want to get to the place where you're balanced. You have a healthy response to both your positive and negative emotions. And then you're going to get to a place where you respond kind of the same. And when I say the same, you detach yourself, whether an experience is negative or positive, you detach yourself. And then you start to really, tap into that, I guess, happiness energy where it's like everything is just peaceful and great no matter what's going on around you. So you can get to that, but you absolutely need to, start somewhere. You can skip too. You can quantum leap. There's so many things you can do. You can just intend for yourself to be up there. But one thing to recognize too is that when you meditate, at least from my experience, when you start to intensively meditate, a lot of these thoughts and feelings that you've attached yourself to over the past couple of years, decades, that's what's going to come up. And so the act of meditation is actually allowing you to process your emotions. It's just kind of the most basic and easiest and universal way to process your emotions in meditation, by clearing your mind, okay? Sweeping and just learning to detach from what comes up, okay? But you absolutely need to do this. That's one of the, I think that actually is that's the biggest block that I've seen a lot of people have. And because they're too attached to their emotions and attached to the identity that they have been living for so long, myself included. Being here talking about this to y'all on this video, I'm gonna be honest, this was not easy. This was not an easy process. I had to just kind of force myself to do it, to be honest. But it took a while for me to get here, to get to this point. But anyway, so I want y'all to recognize that, okay? You have to do that emotional processing, okay? And I think right now, if you don't know where to start, you can buy the masterclass. It's going to be the link in the description below on emotional processing. I give you all the tools for this, okay? That's one thing about me. I don't just teach you or give you knowledge, because you can find knowledge information all over the internet, but I give you the tools to apply that knowledge. That's what I'm really here to help you with, okay? Because we've read the books, we listen to podcasts, but you need to learn how to apply the knowledge. Okay, so that's the second block. So then there's also spiritual blocks. For spiritual blocks, obviously you can sage yourself. You can do a spiritual bath with intention. So one thing people forget to do, when you're taking a spiritual bath, you put the crystals in the water. You can use even herbs too. I just literally just put a tea bag in the water. That's literally the easiest way to do it, depending on what your needs are. But light a candle. But then intend before you get into the bath. I'm going to take a bath and I'm going to intend for this to happen. And then when I get out of the bath, I'm going to intend for this to happen. I'm going to intend to be spiritually cleansed in the way that I need to perform my best for when I practice tomorrow, okay? So I really want y'all to take that into consideration. Note that, okay? So the other thing with spiritual cleanliness is, well, that too. So if you can't take a bath or you don't have a bath, take a foot bath. Okay, if you have studied reflexology, everything is in the foot. Every connection to every single part of our body, it is put into our feet. Okay, so if you can at least take a foot bath, that would be great, and that would actually do the trick. There's times where I've taken foot baths and I put ginger in my foot baths because they're really good. Not just like anti-inflammatory, but there's just so many properties to ginger. I'm not going to get into it right now, but they're so good. Especially if you have something negative, something sticking to you, like you can clean it off of you with emotionally. You have something sticking to you emotionally, but you can clean it off with ginger, just rubbing ginger on your feet, okay? I know that sounds crazy, but this was actually a practice taught to me by a friend of mine who happens to be Chinese. She actually taught me that, and it works. When I tried it, I was like, this is crazy, but I'm gonna do it because I need to clean my whole energy right now. And then try to be in that foot bath for a minimum of 9 minutes, okay? Again, 9 is the number of completion. So, okay, great. Glad we're on the same page. So, so that's the other way you can kind of release psychic blocks. Now, I guess some people might be thinking like, you know, what if somebody curses me, or what if there's some black magic out there? And what I say for that is, you know, there's two things that I teach. I think a lot of teachers teach this foundation to like living in this reality. I don't even want to say living in this reality. I mean, it's a foundation to manifestation, but it's like it's crazy because cavemen have been using this method. It's not even anything, you know. I think humans were so used to like labeling something or discovering something new, and it's like, no, this is intuitive. This is built in our design. So the two things is intention and attention. Okay, it's I'll give you all the caveman example. Okay, and I'm gonna link back to how this is gonna help you get rid of the blocks or the curses or from other people. Okay, intention, attention. Okay, cavemen. They feel hungry. They're going to intend, oh, I'm hungry. I'm going to go find myself something to eat. Then they're going to use attention to find the thing that they're going to eat. They're going to find the buffalo to hunt. They're going to find whatever they want to hunt, okay, or gather. They're going to focus their attention on gathering berries or gathering fruit. Intention, attention, and they're not hungry anymore. There you go. So it's not like, that's the thing. It's not anything new. Like, it's really not. It's part of our design. It's nothing. There's nothing new age about it. There's just nothing new age about it. It's just part of our design. That's it. It's not. It's literally in our DNA. It's not even. Yeah, anyway, okay, we're gonna stop there before I go on a rant. So right, if somebody, you know, you feel or you have had an experience where somebody cursed you or used black magic against you, I mean, there's obviously spells. There's the candle magic that you can use to cut the tie between you and that person. But at the end of the day, intention, attention, intend. By the end of this moon cycle, by the end of this month, I'm going to be released from the from this curse or whatever, this black magic that was applied to me. And then I'm going to choose to pay attention to the signs that the curse has been lifted. Okay, so simple. And I tell you this not to like kind of negate what everybody else is saying. I tell y'all this because this is a universal practice. Like, I'm all about practices that anybody can do anywhere, no matter where you are, no matter how much money you have, no matter what your culture is. These are practices that anybody can do. Okay, you don't need to buy anything. You don't need to look for anything. And so that's why I really stand by this. This is why I stand by meditation, intention, attention. Anybody can do this. It's universal. Okay, it's universal. So that, I know that's another block that a lot of people have. You know, people get cursed. Generational curses too could be a blockage too. Again, just intend and you're going to attract the solution to you. But recognize when the solution comes to you. Okay, don't be like I was. Don't be like I was 10 years ago, where I'll get a solution. I'll be like, oh no, that's a solution, but that's not for me, you know, and then and move on. Don't do that. What I would do actually is intend, what kind of solution do you want? Okay, this is your universe. What kind of solution do you want? Intend for that solution to come to you. Intend how you want to feel when that solution comes to you. Intend how you're going to act when the solution comes to you. Intend. Okay. It's very, very, very important. So, psychic blocks. So I think that's it for psychic blocks. That's what I'm going to say about that. Now I wanted to get into the different types of psychic abilities and maybe some blocks that you are experiencing regarding those abilities, okay? And then we'll talk about maybe how to solve them. I had the list right here because your girl. And before we even get into this, please forgive me if I mispronounced any of these, okay? Some of these, I wrote these down. I was like, girl, I don't know how to pronounce that. So I might be making up some of these words, but it's okay. So Okay, so the first one is clairaudience. So clairaudience is clear hearing, right? Clear, clear. Okay, we went over that at the beginning of the video. Clair is clear. Clairaudience is clear hearing. A lot of people have this, a lot of producers have this. Notice I didn't say musicians, but a lot of producers have this. I think jazz musicians have this too. And I'm gonna explain what I mean. So when you are clairaudient, that's a sign for clairaudience is you know what sounds good. That's how I'm gonna put it. And I say this because there are musicians who are really good musicians, classically trained, amazing, amazing, amazing musicians. And they know how to study a music or study a music sheet and play it back exactly how it is, but they might not be able to create something new or, yeah. And so that's why I say that too. And there's a lot of producers who are like clairaudient, but they don't necessarily know how to play an instrument, which is okay. You don't really need to. So anyway, so clairaudience is like you hear, and the best way to put it is you hear the depth of music, okay? You can hear the layers behind the layers. You can hear what's not heard, basically. A lot of producers have this. You need that skill. Well, I don't think you need it, but in my experience, it's good to have it because then you can hear things that other people aren't hearing, and then add something new to the track. Whereas if you can't hear the layers behind a song, it might not come out the way, you know? I don't know how else can I explain this. It's kind of like when you, I don't know actually. I'm trying to think right now. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. So the other common thing that people have when it comes to clairaudience is ringing in the ears, right? If you hear ringing in the ears on the right side, from my experience, you know, we ain't gonna, because again, people are gonna have conflicting ideas, especially in this time of information. There's so much information out there. It's infinite because everybody has that infinite depth within them, right? So, so just, you know, let go for now. Just kind of let go of other information for now. This is my experience with it. Right ear is your higher self, okay? When I'm imagining, or not imagining, when I'm visualizing my future self, and I'm like in it, I'll start to hear a louder ringing in my right ear. When I'm doing things that are in alignment with where I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to do, I hear a ringing in my right ear, okay? Now, if it's in your left ear, then it's going to be coming from a different, another being, right? Every being, everything has a frequency, okay? There's different, everybody has a different frequency. Doesn't mean it's bad or good. It's just a different frequency, okay? So depending on the being that is visiting you, that you're channeling, you're going to hear a different frequency, okay? So that's clairaudience. Blocks for this, I'm like trying to think. I think the only block that I've experienced with this is I don't think I've ever been blocked from this. Okay, let me I'm sorry for those of y'all watching who are like, I have a block and you're not answering them. I'm sorry, just give me a second. So for those of y'all who have a block with this, I would say let go and tap into the music. That's it. Just tap to the music. Especially if you're a musician and you're having a block with this. I wouldn't even say a block. I think it's, in my opinion, it's impossible to have a block unless you've done something to change your aura or your energy or your soul, then that's different. But clean yourself, clean energetically, clean spiritually, clean mentally, physically clean yourself. Okay, it's really important. That's gonna help you unblock that that clairaudience block that you might have. And then meditate, and then sit in silence too. Sometimes when you have too much sound coming to you, that's also blocking you because it's like, I don't know, it's too bright. I don't know. People will watch this and be like, what is she talking about? But I think there's somebody out there who knows what I'm talking about. It's too much. It's like too much going on. You need to just silence it, okay? So the next thing is clairvoyance, which is the ability to see things that, I guess, or see clearly, right? The veil has been lifted. You know, your pineal gland is completely decalcified. And this is hard because a lot of people have it. Everybody has this ability, right? Everybody has all of these abilities, but because of what we eat, because of the lifestyle that we live, because of the because we're not living holistically connected to the earth, to Gaia. I'm gonna stop calling it the earth, but to the land. That's where a lot of our power comes from. So we need to start to connect back to it by eating clean, putting things on our body that are pure or clean or clear, okay? When you think of clear, when I think of clear, I think of like just open and like oneness, right? Like I would, I guess, interpret a white room as clear versus a room that's painted a bunch of different colors. Like I wouldn't really interpret that as clear, but I guess maybe that's just me. But you want to make sure that, you know, you can see clearly, okay? And if there's any blocks for clairvoyance, it's that you aren't eating clear, you ain't listening clear, okay? You're not putting things into your body, mind, and your spirit that are clear. So you need to work on that if you really want to step into the clairvoyance. And the best way to start to do that is learn how to see auras, okay? And that's something else that we'll talk about in the workshop on Saturday. So, because again, I don't want to, oh, girl, it's already 26 minutes, okay. We gonna get through this pretty quickly. This was supposed to be a 30-minute video, so. Anyway, okay, so that's clairvoyance. Clairsentience, intuitive feelings. So people have that like sixth sense, that gut feeling, you know, when you're in a group and you're going down this one street and then one person's like, I don't know, I don't want to go any further. That is, that's clairsentience, okay? Everybody has access to this, like gut feeling. Some people are more tuned in than others, again, depending on what you eat, who you with, what environment you're in, how you take care of yourself. Is everything clear, right? Are you eating clearly, both physically, mentally, spiritually? Like this is how it works. So that's clairsentience. I'm going to go through these faster. So claircognizance is clear knowing. This one's interesting, and I think people find this annoying too. Claircognizance is clear knowing. So, and this is something I did as a kid a lot, and I don't do as much anymore as an adult. Anyway, so clear cognizance is clear knowing. You know, when you talk to somebody and you already know what they're gonna say, or you know, or you're watching an interview or you're watching TV and the interviewer like asks a question, you already know the answer to it. Even if the guest doesn't know the answer, that's clear cognizance. It's like you just know, and it's not even like. It's not even like you asked for it or you were like, oh, I'm gonna guess everything. It just comes to you. It just comes to you, and it's like. Yeah, I had a rough childhood, but it's it's okay. It's okay. But yeah, so when I was a kid, I would like interrupt people. I'd be like, oh yeah, I already know what you're gonna say. It's okay. And I had to learn that I was like, people don't like this, and it's okay that people don't like this because people they deserve to say what they want to say. Like it's not, you know, like this is okay. This is okay. So clear cognizance. But I know the people who also have this, like they're like, oh my God, like that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. And even I think the most curious thing for me is that it could be something that is talked about. It could be like a topic on astrophysics. And as long as I can understand the question, like really, you know, understand what question is being asked, I can answer it. If I can't understand the question, then usually I will not, you know, even if it's something I haven't studied myself, right? But then there's levels to everything. So people who are really high in claircognizance, they don't need to know any of that. They're just going to receive the answer and give it to you. Like this is really, it's that clear. I was gonna say it's that simple, but it's that clear. Okay, so that's claircognizance. Okay, clair aliens. I don't know if that's the exact word, but that's clear smell. People can smell things even if it's not around, right? So let's say like let me talk about blockages real quick. I think for a lot of these, I'm gonna say, because I know claircognizance, the blockages for that. I think the blockages for that would be, you know, trying to practice clear cognizance and conversation, and then the person not appreciating it and then tuning out. So I think the best way to practice clear cognizance is to really watch, like I said, watch TV, watch an interview, and practice it that way. Maybe jot down an answer. I don't think the best way to do that is through interactions with other people, or else you start to shut it down, which is what I did when I was younger. Okay, so clear, and I don't know if I did one for clairsentience, intuitive feeling. Again, it's like systematic and social programming that really does not as much of a good job anymore, but it used to do a really good job of really shutting a lot of these abilities down, because we were judged for these abilities that people were like, oh, like just you have, which is not true. Everybody has this. Everybody has this. Okay. Everybody. Okay, so this is, you know, I want to emphasize that. That's one of the biggest blocks for these. Okay, the next one is clairalience, clear smell, okay? And I want to pair this, just to speed things up, with clairgustinance, clear taste, okay? So both of these, I feel like chefs have this ability. And I want to say it like this. It's like when you, and this is kind of on the basic level. I think there's levels to all of this, okay? Clear smell, I mean, I would say like you can smell something that's like miles away. That would be like the high-end one, but I'm gonna talk about the basic one, okay? So the basic one for clear smell is, yeah, it's like you're cooking and you don't have to taste the food. You can just smell it, okay? And then you know what to put in it. You know what to add to it. You don't have to taste anything. The other thing that you can do with that is, or not do with that, one of the other experiences you may have is that you haven't bought oranges in months. You know, all the rooms in your house are closed. There's no oranges in sight, but you smell oranges all of a sudden, and then it goes away. That's another sign of clear smell. That's what I'm gonna call out, clairalience, okay? So then the one clear taste, oh, that's funny. Okay, so with clear taste, you're really in tune with your taste buds. You're really in tune. You can taste something and you can pick apart all the different parts of it. Now, a lot of chefs, yeah, they have this because they've trained that part of their ability. They've trained themselves to do that. And then the other extreme is, one of the extremes is that you can just taste stuff. You have a taste that comes up in your mouth out of nowhere, right? That's what's gonna help you tap into clairgustinance, okay? Clear taste. Blockages for this, what came up, that's why I was laughing earlier. What came up is when you burn your tongue, that's gonna, it's so stupid. It's not stupid, but that's what's gonna block that. Clear taste, eating bland foods. Diversifying your palate is gonna help you with this, okay? So if you're a chef, you need to tap into that, okay? The next one is clairtangency, so clear touch. So this one, a lot of mediums have, right? When you go to see a medium, they're gonna ask you, bring something that was from your loved one. They have clear touch. They can touch that object, channel that person, okay? And hopefully channeling their highest good. Blockages for this, I would say, I'm like, I don't think I've heard of one for this. If you have heard of one, comment below, please let me know. I'm really curious. But if you want to develop this further, what I would do is I would start getting objects, and I would start practicing just mediumship. But let me, with a clear space, a clear physical space, a clear mental space, a clear spiritual space, okay? Get that. Don't just practice it out of the blue, okay? You can even practice it with a person who is a trained medium. That'll help you a lot too, okay? So, okay, and then clear prognosance, seeing the future. For this one, blockages is again the systematic programming, the social programming, but also I think what's really going to help a lot of y'all is just for all of these, just pay attention to them. That's it. The more attention you spend, the more attention with a clear mind that you spend on these. Okay, that's the ultimate hack. We're gonna go over on Saturday, but when you pay attention to these with a clear mind, if your mind is all over the place, it's not gonna be as easy. Okay, but when you pay attention to these with a clear mind, you're gonna see your psychic abilities just accelerate. It's going to be crazy, but you have to give it the attention that it deserves, okay? So that's going to be it for today's little mini lesson. Today's lesson, okay? It's 30 minutes. I hope y'all learned something. And definitely comment below any issues that you guys have with psychic blocks. Just comment, let me know. I'll respond to it. And I will see y'all next week. I love y'all so much. Peace. I'll see y'all tomorrow at the podcast, okay? Peace.